Hey, this is Rory Hoffman. I'm a multi-instrumentalist from Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm holding here a guitar of my own invention. I had a local guitar builder named Dave Johnson build this for me. He has a company called Scale Model Guitars, and he loves building guitars for people, especially people who have neat ideas for guitars, and I would consider this to be one such instrument. I keep thinking about other things you can do with instruments besides what's been done with them. And so I had this idea come into my mind, and the fun thing about that is I can kind of practice the instrument in my head and work out logistics before I, commit to having him start cutting up wood and all that kind of stuff. So, I thought about this thing for a while and finally came up with a plan that I thought would work pretty good. And so my working title for this guitar is a Solicaster. And the reason I call it that is because there's a musical term called soli, which is multiple instruments playing a solo. So like more than one solo is soli. So if you have like a whole horn section doing like a section part all together, instead of one person playing a solo, they're all playing together. And this guitar kind of sounds like multiple guitars all playing the same thing together because of the tuning system I devised. As normal guitars would sequentially go from low strings to high strings, this guitar actually keeps jumping around between higher pitched and lower pitched. So it's 5 single strings and 1 doubled string. So it's a 7-string guitar, but not the way you normally think of a 7-string guitar. It's 5 singles and then a double octave string. So the double octave string is mostly used for melody, and then the strings around it create your chords. And so these 2 top strings are usually my wild card strings. I can kind of tune them to whatever I want for the project I'm doing. So right now I have it as, and then it goes lower, and then it goes higher, and then it goes lower, and then it goes higher, and then it goes lower, and then it goes higher. So it's constantly bouncing around between lower and higher pitches, rather than sequential. And what that allows me to do is really tightly voiced chords, almost like George Shearing would do on a piano. I can do it on guitar. And so, the reason I made this an octave is so that you can tell what note is the melody, because otherwise it's just like a series of chords. But if you make the melody an octave and put all the chords inside it, then it's pretty easy to tell what the melody note is. Like if I were to do Bye Bye Blackbird. So I missed a few chords along the way, but that's the idea. You know, it gives me a chance to do really thick melodies with full chordal accompaniment between the notes of the melody. So that's my guitar invention called, my working title is the Solicaster.